Hey guys, welcome back. I'm here for part 2 of my journey with autism. I know I'm so picky and I'm so out there and I just don't seem like I have it. Well, I do. So, now I was in the middle of talking about high school and how hard it was. I look back at myself then and I'm just like delicate little flowers. Couldn't deal with having her feelings hurt, having names called at her. Just turn the other cheek, girl. Now, the reason I could deal with it, the reason I got through and I was able to graduate high school eventually, is because as hard as it was, I had people outside of school that helped me. I had friends, I had my family, my parents, my siblings, they all helped me to get through it all. And didn't mean I hated school any less. Once I graduated, I'm just like, yes, freedom, kind of thing. Now I moved high schools a lot because of the bullying thing. I don't know, just no matter where I went, maybe it's because I was shy and kept to myself. It just was easy pickings for kids, the bullies. I don't know. Now my first school was Como Secondary College. I was there for about just over a year and a half. It was about middle year 9 that I left, and then I went to Linwood. Spent about a year there. And then when I left that school, I was about halfway through year 10, I think. For about 6 months or so, I was homeschooled. Let me tell you the perks of being homeschooled. Once I have kids of my own, I wouldn't mind doing it with them. There's no pressure, I had homework, sure, but my parents didn't pressure me or push me to finish them. That was always in my own time, and they taught me useful things I could use in my life. I mean, I learned a little bit of music and geography from my brother. He's a master pianist. He's in his 30s now, and he's been playing piano since he was a wee lad. And Dad taught me a few sciencey things, electronics, and I just remember learning lots of useful things from them. It has been about 13 years. Probably forgotten most of it. Then I graduated from this little quaint fast program school called, it was part of Seven Oaks. And they were pretty good too. I could do my work in my own time and by myself, and there was not very many kids in there, so there wasn't anyone to pick on me. I made a couple friends, but I haven't really seen them since. I do remember there was one question that they gave me that was on a worksheet, and it said, what are the purpose of trees? Like, describe a tree. And I was like, I felt like it was a bit of a grade school question, but I gave the technical environment answer. I said they provide oxygen for us and they take away carbon dioxide. I just thought it was the common sense answer because that's the purpose trees have on the earth. And then the teacher came up to me later and she said, that's the most intelligent answer I've seen one of my students give. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? That's the most simple answer. And she said everyone else just says they've got brown trunks, green leaves and whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get the whole FAST program part of this now. And it even made math simpler for me, and I hate maths. Like, I am not an accountant. No. No way. I don't suck at maths. Like, I could do pretty much the 4 basic groups, the division, the addition, the subtraction, and the multiplication. Like, I could do all those. And I've got A minus in algebra one time. That's just because I studied it like crazy. But calculus and all that, and nope. I'm useless when it comes to that stuff. I was more into sport. I mean, I was always an outside girl. I wanted to play basketball and run, whatever. But I graduated high school comfortably, and by that point, I had changed a lot from when I was started high school. So many schools I'd been to, so many friends I'd met. And yeah, no, I was definitely a lot more out there than when I was a kid. But the one thing that really helped me, that final crack in my shoulder break open, when I turned 18, and so I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And when we all turn 18, we enter into the Institute program, or the Young Single Adults. And my life improved for the better when I went into this program. I met so many friends. Most of my friends I have now are from YSA. I didn't meet my husband through YSA, but I did meet him at church. So my life in the gospel has benefited me in that way. So many of my closest friends are from YSA, and there were so many activities you go to. There was conventions, there were dances, the dances were held at. There was just so many social events that I went to, and I just began enjoying being around people more. And somewhere along the way, I don't even remember where or how, I began the eye contact thing. I have every small instances now and then where I won't want to look at someone. I'm probably in a mood, or I've got something else in my mind. I've got no idea. But being exposed to so much over the years to that extent, traveling around the world. And another thing, when I was 19, I got the chance to travel to Utah by myself because I have cousins over there. I was there for 3 months. I was there from between early October to late December. I came home just after Christmas, and that was fun. That was a whole new cultural thing that I learned about, because those people, my gosh, they love their holidays. I was exposed to their Halloween, which is celebrated 100 times more than it is here. I swear, everybody for just houses in a row. So many houses were decorated for Halloween, while you got nobody, except for one of my close friends. She lives like 5 minutes away. She's always decking her house out. It's just her thing. And I was there for Thanksgiving. These people eat a lot. I put on weight when I was over there. The way you see me now, I'm actually a lot thinner than I was back then. Particularly after that 3 months. The amount of food I ate was ridiculous. I remember getting woken up probably between 9 and 10. It was a vacation. Okay, you sleep in. And they dragged me in front of the TV and going, we're going to watch Thanksgiving Parade. And I'm sitting here going, I'm Australian. Why do I care about this stuff? And because I didn't really get what was happening, I was kind of leaning on the couch like this and ended up falling asleep. Back asleep. I did not care about the parade. I didn't get it. But, so much food. Now I remember there was actually, the snow kind of varies. My mum and dad went over there last year, and they said it didn't snow until about like November. But when I was over there 10 years ago, I got heavy snowfall in like mid to late October. Because I used to do these daily walks around the block just to get some exercise, I guess. That did not help. from the way they was stuffing me. And there was one crisp day, it was pretty cold. I was wearing gloves, proper snow gloves, but they don't always help. And I was walking around, and the snowballs that came down, there were so many of them. They were like this thick. And they were just falling down, and just like, they were only falling down like this fast, but they were thick, and it was so much of it. I enjoyed it. But they go almost evaporate when they land on you. But it was so cold. I just remember my fingers and my toes were stinging with frost. I wasn't frostbitten, but it was still freezing. But luckily for me, these people had central heating. So the instant I got inside, I was like, whoa, it's warm in here. So I took many layers off. I swear I wore like 3 layers every time I went outside there. So that was more exposure to so much. And my cousins over there are pretty loud, pretty out there people. So that kind of helped me. They took me to a lot of BYU games. There was a football, for them, gridiron football game. It was a college basketball game. I wasn't a fan of the Warriors yet. I didn't know about them. If I did know about the Warriors at the time, I would have begged them to take me to a game. 10 years too late. That was fun. In the next year or two, my husband and I are planning on going on a bit of a world trip. And America's going to be one of them. Go back to Utah and see all these people again, see how they're doing. But my life as an adult was much different. Much different. Like, I saw a text from someone, so that's why I got distracted. It was much different from when I was a kid. I had 10 times the amount of friends. I had more places I wanted to go to. Because I had my license, I could drive wherever I needed to. From about when I was in my early 20s to my mid-20s, there was 4 years when it was my first time living away from my parents. I lived with a few girls. At one point, there was about 7 girls in that house. 5-bedroom house, 7 girls. Didn't last very long. They all kind of, one after the other, moved out after a couple of weeks. And then eventually there was just the 5 of us, 1 room each. And that was for that whole thing with the 7 girls and then us 5 girls lasted for a couple of years. And then the last 2 years of it, 2 years of my life I will never forget. It was just me and one of my best friends, Amanda. I'm going to tag you. This is one of the most memorable roommate experiences I could have. One of the people kept telling us, oh no, you're going to live with each other? You might ruin your friendship. Au contraire. If anything, it made our friendship stronger. I don't see her much now. She's in Byford, I'm in Mandurah. She works and I'm married and, things have changed a lot. But it doesn't change that if I ever saw her, if we ever caught up, it's like we revert back to those times when we lived in Huntingdale together. It's just almost as if the years never happened. We have so many memories to share, and she knows me so well. Like, she's seen sides of me that even Ethan hasn't seen, my parents haven't seen. There's like a best friend comparison thing. It's like, my friend could tell embarrassing stories about me, and Amanda, she could write a thick biography novel on what she knows about me. Like, she could yeah. I'm surprised she didn't actually put up a slideshow at my wedding. That could have just embarrassed the heck out of me. She could have done that. She knows me that well. Missed you, Amanda. We need to catch up again. But friendships like that have they're the reason I am the person I am today. And I have an amazing family. When you have a big as family as I am, you can't help but come out of your shell. I grew up with 4 siblings, all older than me. I'm the youngest. Hey, question, what's it like having a younger sibling? I have nieces and nephews, but somehow I feel like it's not the same thing. Um, I guess I'll never know. I have other friends that I feel like are younger sisters to me, but I guess I'll never find out, will I? And from the moment my older sister got married, the family's just continuously grown bigger. When I was about 12, she gave birth to my first niece, Micaiah, and she just turned 17 this month. Yikes! They grow up so fast. And so her oldest is 17. My other sister, who lives 2 hours north of me, her oldest is 13, turning 14 later this year. It's not making me feel very good. Anyway, this year I'll be turning 30. I'm still young, right? I can still go to basketball. I'm still. But I said to people, you know what? The moment I got married, I stopped worrying about getting old. You know, the only thing I'm trying to do now is have kids. Once I've gotten that, I'm set. I'm not saying that parenthood will be smooth, because no, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. But that's all I ever wanted in life, was just to find a husband and become a mother. That was my goal. And I'm halfway there. So yeah, becoming old's not a problem for me anymore. What else? Some fun facts about autism. If you have suspicions that your child has autism, just certain things to look out for. Some stuff that we hate. As much as I love being around my friends, okay, but we have a limit to how long we can be around people and loud, noisy, crowded public places. Like, my weekend is pretty busy. Every Friday I have my mate Daniel come over. We're pretty good mates now, and we usually chill and play games and whatever. But that's different. He's one person. When one person visits continuously, I'm fine with that. But it's crowds. Okay, just got blurred a little. Saturdays, I spend the day up at Mariboka playing basketball. So that's not just excessive exercise. Like, I play a couple of games a day that day, but it's noisy the whole time I'm there. There's running, people screaming, there's talking, and I'm exposed to that from 12 to 5 at the latest. And I don't feel the exhaustion at the time, because I love basketball. I've been playing it on and off for about 20 years now. It's just a passion of mine. And people there play rough. Now, and then the very next day I go to church. There are some way I actually didn't go yesterday because I overdid it. I'm such an idiot. I overdid it on Saturday. I did push-ups in the morning. I played really hard, and I got a really nice shiner on my arm right there. I don't know if you can see it. For those of you who understand basketball terms, I was trying to defend a guy, like I was following him, and one of his teammates got in my way and screened me, and he had his arms folded across like this, and this arm I ran into his like elbow or something, and it was really hard. Like, it was like a wall. So yeah, that bruise is from running into a screen. And that was my mixed game with men and women. And then later on, I played my girls' game, and I was, not to brag or anything, uh, the top scorer, because all the other girls were missing, and I was getting all mine in. So they started relying on me a little bit to play well, and I pushed myself. We didn't have any substitutes either, so I played the whole. It was just us five on the court, and I had to play pretty hard most of the game. So the next morning, I hate missing church. I hate it. Okay, I love church. I don't like missing the sacrament. And then my alarm did go off for me to get up, but I was in so much pain. I couldn't move my lower back and my arms. I can't describe how much pain I was in yesterday. I spent almost all day in bed recuperating. This comes with playing basketball, playing sport in general. These people don't play soft. You will get bashed around like a pinball or a pinata or whatever you want to say. Basketball being labelled a non-contact sport, yeah, whatever. That's just lies. All of it is just lies. Oh, I totally forgot. Another big thing about autistic kids. The reason why, like, Mum thought I was deaf when I was a kid. We all have at least one hobby or themed something that we love so much that we're just obsessed with it. Like, basketball's not it for me. I love basketball. Basketball's the reason I'm not like, I don't need the Biggest Loser or anything. I'm in reasonably decent shape because of it. But no, you'll find one sign to look out for. There'll be a certain subject they'll be obsessed with. They'll just, like, they'll love it so much. Mine, ta-da! Here's anime. Most people that know me know I love anime, okay? I draw it, I collect it, I watch it, sometimes I read it, manga. I talk about it. There's an event that goes on once a year in June. It's Supernova, where you can dress up and you can go. It's just a whole event focused on it. But one thing I never let it do, I don't let anime get in the way of my life with the gospel. I don't let the two crisscross. On Sundays, I completely shut anime out because I just want to focus on the Sabbath. Even if I don't go to church, I still recognize that it's the Sabbath. So I don't watch anime. I don't watch movies. We don't watch any movies above PG or above anything that's family friendly. So I still do my best to keep the standards. I don't buy anything. I don't use my money. I still try to be a good girl. I did watch some of the old stuff when I was about 10. The really good classics, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, and Dragon Ball. And Digimon. Those were the 4 that I liked as a kid. And I guess because of all the traveling and school and stuff, I stopped for a while. When I was 15, I had these couple of guy friends. I dated one of them. And they got me into my first anime I was ever obsessed with. It was a Gundam one. And that's what started me off. And then I started watching other things, and then it just didn't stop. So thanks, guys. You know who I'm talking about. Thanks, guys, for introducing me to the anime world. Small little minute rant here. My favorite anime right now is Fairy Tail. I only just started watching it in the middle of last year. I knew of it over the years. I don't know why I didn't watch it. Maybe because it was another long one. But one day I decided, you know what, why not? Because Ethan said there was a girl on there that I would really like, and he was totally right. and she's still my what people call in the anime world my waifu, which is an interpretation of a character that you love and obsess over so much. They're practically your anime wife or husband in that world. I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm not gay. I'm not. She's just my ultimate favorite character right now, and it's hard to explain. Otaku, you guys know what I mean. You guys get what I'm talking about. Yeah. Ethan's favorite anime is Naruto. I'm sure you guys know that a little better than Fairy Tail. Yeah, no. So stuff like that. I've been hard driven towards anime for years, and that's having a talent that they're really good at is another sign. But apart from that, one thing that is a big deal is change. I still don't like sudden change. Like, if I make plans for something and I'm looking forward to it for weeks at a time, and then something happens and it drastically changes, I'm not the biggest fan. I'll be pretty upset. But I've learned to not throw a big fit over it. But those who are a little bit more severely autistic, you throw change at them out of the blue without warning, you're bound to get some level of a meltdown from them. Change is not a favourite of ours. But I guess I've had to deal with it because I've travelled and I've changed schools and I'm married now, so that change is inevitable when you're married. So I've had a lot of change thrown at my face, so I've had to adapt to it pretty fast. One thing is we have a kind of a, what's it called? You have to, when we sit still for a long amount of time, we have to always be fiddling with something. I can't really sit still during church because it's a whole hour of one meeting and then another hour of classes. And I'm usually fiddling with my fingers or with my phone. Like, I just can't just sit there and do nothing. I get restless pretty easily. So, just a few little tips if you think your child is autistic. I'm high functioning. Okay, not all of them can openly communicate as easily as I can. Some of them can't talk at all. There was one girl who eventually learned to talk with a computer. She typed like this on the keyboard. I was just quiet for a long time until all their lovely journeys brought me out. And it really depends on how you're raised, who you're raised with. I was fortunate and blessed to have a wonderful family that was patient with me. And they were good to me, and I've got pretty fun siblings to hang around. I'll tell you a little bit about them. Oh, wait, not so much that I'm exposing secrets or anything. I'll start with the next one. The next one up from me is Fern. She's 2 hours north of me. She has 5 kids. And I remember us being pretty close as kids, because I guess because our ages were so close. We shared a room, we shared baths. Sorry. And we just grew up, got older. She got married. She got married when I was 14. That's her secret. She was 17 when she got married. I'm sure it's not a secret. She's known publicly as the young mother. But I've always admired her willingness to get married young and jump into having a family. Like, she didn't waste any time. But then I feel sad that she missed out on what young single adults. That's a fun adventure that I feel pretty bummed at that she didn't get to experience. But moving on, the next oldest up from Fern is Sammy. I've always admired him for his intellect. He's the brainy one out of the five of us. When I was a kid, he used to teach me a lot about astronomy. We used to sit on the roof of our home and with a pair of binoculars, and he used to talk to me about the different planets and point out which was which. It was fun. He's still got a telescope now, so I can ask him if I can always go to him and see if we can do it again. And he's always been really good at playing the piano. He tried to teach me at some stage when I was homeschooling, but I guess piano is not really my thing. Next up is my brother Jay. I've been told I look like the female version of him. I say that because he was born first. And he's the kind of the fun, goofy, cheeky brother. He kind of inherited the sense of humor off Dad. I always thought that he'd be pretty good at stand-up comedy. My brother's got good natural sense of humor. My whole family does, but just in different degrees. So he's always been the funny guy. He's got 2 kids himself. And then the oldest of all of us is Kate. Growing up as a kid, I looked up to her a lot. She just did so many adventurous things that just inspired me. Like she just, before she got married, she went everywhere. She walked across the whole country just about. She didn't do it then, but she used to walk around a lot, barefoot, and she was just the independent one that could spread her wings, and I've always looked up to her for that. So my siblings have always inspired me to just do what I wish. And I am doing what I wish. I'm writing a book. I discovered it later in life. That growing up with that kind of free thinking from them has taught me screw what everyone else thinks. Don't let anyone else tell me how I should live my life. I'll do what I want. And that's why I've just been drawing all my life, why I play basketball, and why I'm writing. And another thing, when I was about 23, I suddenly got the urge I just started thinking about how musical my family is. If you go down, Dad's a guitarist and a singer. My mum can play the violin. Don't be so modest about it, Mum, okay? Yeah, you might be able to play simple things, but it's very hard to get a noise out of that thing. Violins are probably one of the hardest string instruments out there. Kate inherited the singing and the guitars, and she could also play the flute. And they also both very good at writing music and their own songs. And they what's the word? Collaborated, that's the word. They collaborated a lot with a few songs. My brother Jay, he had an incident a while back where he hurt his back, but I don't think that's erased his ability. He can play the bass guitar. As I've said, Sammy, he's the pianist, and while I haven't seen much music inclination come out of Fern, I know that she can still play the flute. I know that she can. Something they can all play instruments, and I'm like, I want to learn how to play something. And then I was half inspired by this anime I watched called K-On! It's just K-O-N. And it's 5 girls that form their own band in high school. And I remember, hey, Dad was a rocker in the 70s when he was a young chap. So I asked him to teach me to play the drums. And it's been roughly 6 years since. Yeah, it's been about 6 years, and I wouldn't call myself a total expert yet, but I'm a lot better than I was. I can play long distance K-On! Music now, and me and Dad have he's formed his own band that I'm the drummer for, and It's good. I feel pretty good that I can play an instrument now, even if it is a loud one. But it matches that. I've got the right kind of hair for it. It's like just yeah. The one thing I will not be doing that male drummers do is ripping my shirt off. Nope. It's one thing about being a girl. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, there's different degrees of autism. Mine was fortunate enough to be able to be polished and dignified into the person I am now, to outgoing and talkative, and I'm open to talk about autism most of the time. I do sometimes get random meltdowns. I do. But that's conditional. I can't control those. But the most important thing, no matter how bad, no matter how severe, the important thing is that I grew aware of what I have. I'm 100% aware of what's going on up here. I can't always control it, but I know. So I can warn people or inform people about who I am and the behavioral patterns that I have. But I should end it there. If you have any questions, comment below or message me or whatever. And this has been my journey with autism. Hasn't been easy, but it's also blessed me. So, until next time.